You're listening to Inside Commerce, a weekly e-com strategy, technology and CX focused podcast hosted by experienced digital consultants and re-platform specialists James Gedd and Paul Rogers. Get insights into e-com strategy of leading brands, hear from industry thought leaders and leading tech vendors with practical advice to help you improve your online CX. This episode is sponsored by WellPay. Our topic today is proven strategies to increase conversion for existing site traffic using intelligent CRO pop-ups. And the reason we're doing this, and I'll just talk you through quickly what you're going to get from the episode before I introduce our expert guest. But it's about trying to reduce the dependency and having to continuously buy new traffic when you can use smarter on-site marketing to better convert what you already have and better monetize your traffic. And pop-ups and overlays are really maligned. I've had lots of conversations where people have told me that they think they're utterly rubbish and a waste of time. But in my opinion, that is because it's lazy tactics. It's site-wide usage. It's not contextual. It's things that really annoy people by adding friction to their user journeys rather than value. I've seen worked on projects and helped advise people where we've used them intelligently and we've used very targeted campaigns for specific scenarios. So I'm a big fan of using them intelligently. I'm not a big fan of just using them and not thinking about where they fit in the journey. So we're going to discuss three main areas: where there's revenue hiding existing traffic, site-wide approaches like 10% off that don't work, but people are still using them, why, but also how can you do better targeting and how is AI helping increase targeting and testing capability. So we've got a specialist in this area. So a warm welcome to Taras, who's the CMO at ClassPo. Hey Taras, how are you?
Hi, James. Thank you. I'm fine. How are you today?
Well, all good. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. You're down in Faro in Portugal, aren't you?
Yes, correct. In Faro district.
Nice. So yeah, that was my opening gambit. So before we get into the questions, I know, the positioning, obviously, ClassPo as a website pop-up builder, the tech is designed to help e-com teams to increase like opt-ins, convert traffic, providing like smart testing capabilities. Do you want to give people a bit of a flavor for, first of all, who you are, but also what the platform does and who it's doing it for?
Thank you, James. I'm Taras. I'm CMO at ClassPo, as you said, and I'm a marketer and working with the Ukrainian SaaS companies since 2015, helping them to expand on global markets. So, yeah, and my interest to pop-ups occurred several years ago when I met founders of ClassPo, and and I was in the position that pop-ups, who cares? Just annoying stuff. Who wants to buy it? And they explained about the idea, about the vision of ClassPo, the vision of tool that can identify a shopping intent, identify the stage of buyer's journey, and show the right offer or right message. It is not always offer, right? It's in the perfect moment to perfect visitor. And this is a game changing. It was interesting, and I decided to help them grow.
Excellent. Yeah, and so ClassPo's got apps for, arguably two of the biggest e-com platforms worldwide in terms of install base. So both WordPress and Shopify, right?
Yeah. We are platform agnostic, but since 2024, we are very focused to Shopify. Exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I can see why the WordPress app as well, because the sheer number of sites that rely on WordPress, including my own. So we split this in three parts. The first part is around revenue hiding in existing traffic. And you can all resonate as marketers. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into acquiring traffic, bringing people to the site, targeting through creative execution, ad targeting, analytics. There's a huge amount of effort and intelligence that goes into it. But sometimes you can bring really good traffic and then the site isn't actually effective at then doing something with that traffic, whether that is taking somebody who's not yet ready to buy, but giving them relevant info, or capturing interest, or someone who is in a purchase journey to then try and secure that conversion. So when you're talking to people about the benefit of on-site marketing, how does it compare in terms of other campaigns, like conversion rates, performance, return on investment?
Yeah, the thing is that we're trying to see is a holistic picture of funnel. So we can say that all things in the buying traffic, yes, optimization, or in conversion rate optimization on website, or post-purchase. Every stage matters. Every stage matters. If you want to grow, you need to improve every stage of the funnel. And we work on the one phrase in the on-site layer, and the website is pretty static. Yes, it has different pages, of course, and navigation system and so on, but it is static. I mean that you buy traffic, but you show you offer a same funnel for all traffic that you bought. So the thing is to see the segments, to see what different between them, and to offer a differentiated, a personalized experience that gives increasing conversion. That gives increasing conversion, which means that you have bigger leverage in acquisition. So these things are very, very connected in both sides.
So maybe you can give a few examples, actually, because so if I take a campaign I worked on a good few years back with a B2B software company selling software subscriptions, one of the things that we used overlays so we started to do the analysis to look at where conversion journeys were quite low, and it was because there was complex purchases. It was businesses buying software for their company, different types of company. So we looked at two areas where we could add the contextual relevance. Number one was how many visits to a particular product page it took before the average purchase, and then isolating people on the second and third visit versus those on the first, leaving people, but not just constantly doing offers, but actually surfacing things like connecting people with the product experts. Do you want some advice for your company? Do you want to know how you can use this to do A, B, and C? And we found that had a big impact, much stronger than just here. Obviously a lot of people in the business who wanted sales just said, stick 10% off, stick 20% off. And we didn't want to do that. And we found that adding value and you bringing in customer service elements to journeys had as good an impact as typical conversion measures. So what are you seeing working, and how are you seeing people use it smartly to get more personalized?
Yes, you see, the interesting thing about what you said is that there are plenty of different jobs. Not only the job that we can help is to save money. Yes, by giving the offer 10% off. This is only one of jobs possible that we can help. And we can help, for example, to make a right choice. Yes, and when we experimenting with the product quizzes on PDP pages, especially for traffic from traffic that landed on PDP page. As you probably know, and your listeners also know, that the traffic from AI systems, from LLMs, lands directly to PDP. So no connection to your brand, nothing, no warm up. Just it's like to make a parallel offline. It's you teleported to this dress room directly without passing seller and seeing the shop brand. And the thing is that we can help somehow. Yes, we can help to resolve the problem that our visitor have in the moment. The problem of understanding what the assortment of this shop. Is it a better choice? Okay, I clicked in ChatGPT to link and was redirected directly to PDP page. So quiz pop-up can entertain, can also help to maybe to decide this, to come up with the idea what I will buy, and on this way it establishes a connection with the brand. It's a big part, a big job because it is impacts LTV at the end of the day. That's how these approaches that we develop are working. So it is not one size fits all, 10% off. It is precise, segmented work on every stage of customer journey.
Ready to grow your business online? With WorldPay e-commerce, you can deliver fast, secure payments your customers love, backed by global reach and real people-powered support. Scale with confidence and enhance your customers' experience with WorldPay e-commerce.
And you frame it as seeing these targeted pop-ups as revenue layers, not annoyances. So let's look at how that can happen, because we'll come on to it later about practices that don't work and cause problems. But how do you reframe it? How do you explain this to people? Because I think there's a lot of people who are very resistant towards embracing pop-ups, probably because they've seen them used poorly, or they've had poor pop-ups impact them when they're shopping online. So how do you get people to rethink about what the purpose is?
Mm-hmm. Different ways, actually by explaining the sense of different segments and different jobs that these segments are required to us to help. So in this point, also we are showing benchmarks. So we have a regular quarterly benchmark report where we collect all the pop-up views and make a drop down by industries, by targets, about use cases. So merchants can see the normal conversion rate of, let's say, email pop-up, and can see how it grew by adding a spin wheel or any other gamification practice, or adding a personalization. So that's how we communicate the value, if I got you right.
Yeah, and what does good look like? Because I think this is hard for people to understand. Is there are so many different ways you can use a pop-up. You can use it just as an offer, a blunt tool that will drive sales. It can also cannibalize sales that you'd have already got anyway, versus using it to maybe collect opt-in data. So what does good look like? What's good for opt-in rates, offer redemptions? What sort of metrics do you see?
So our average simple email pop-up converts as 5%. So that's our average. We know that it is higher than the average among the whole market. And if we will improve this simple email pop-up that triggers, in a few seconds after first-time visitor welcome site, or triggers the exit intent. So if we'll improve it, we'll add a gamification. Gamification is something that shouldn't be triggered immediately. It can be triggered by on-click. So user decides when he or she wants to interact with this pop-up. So gamification adds to conversion, and you can have 10 or even 16% opt-in rate. And the top performers, according to our benchmark report, the latest one that is not published yet. I know that next week we are going to publish it, but I will show the statistics. It's 26%. It's a combination of gamification and personalization. It means that it's shown to particular segments, it's shown to in a particular time. We catch, for example, when the buyer journey is stuck. When it's stuck, we define this moment and then trigger a pop-up. It means that something is not good, something is not going the right way, and then we trigger this pop-up. So these all tactics in combination, they can give even 26%. So this is about opt-in rate. I think that it's our main goal, drawing a list, another SMS list.
What?
But another goal is to increase immediate sales. And the results are pretty much the same. From the average to market and increasing conversion. So if you have a flash sale and you have the average offer redemption of your discount coupon like 5%. So if you use gamification, FOMO, and countdown timer and personalization, you can increase it by up to 12 or even 20%.
And how deep is the segmentation? Because again, I think some of the historical criticism with using pop-ups is that, and we talked about it earlier, everyone sees the same thing. And then people might just do it based on, is it a new or existing customer? But that's flawed if you're just using it on the browser data, because people clear cookies, you lose data signals, and you can end up showing the campaign to the wrong segment. So how does your tool collect data to allow customers to segment more intelligently? And what types of segmentation can you do?
Yeah, we use Google data, we use Google Session ID, and we connect data from ESP integrations. Say this merchant use Klaviyo or Omnisend, and we can connect with this data and define whether the visitor already subscribed or not, or it's a new visitor. So yeah, that's how we work.
And are you running scripts on the site to detect other data signals like traffic source, the usual ones where you can micro-target specific audience segments?
Could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, so are you picking data signals up from the traffic sources to know when someone's come through from an LLM, from paid search, from an ad, etc.?
Yeah, the source, how we define a traffic source, yes, is UTM get parameters. So we can't identify, for example, whether traffic came from LLM system if it is not marked with the UTMs. We can't do that. We can identify that the landing page, the session started on PGP. So we can build a segment that, okay, we have a segment that session started from PGP. We have to act and interact with this segment differently. So yes, the URL get parameters is the way how marketer can manage it. We can catch, for instance, you run Google Ads or Meta Ads, and you have this traffic source, medium, and campaign UTM, or even keyword, and we can use all these variables in merge tags and personalize the message.
Let's spend a bit more time about practices that are dead or that e-commerce teams still use, the things that make people think that pop-ups are crap and don't work. So the number one is site-wide 10% offs, which is still happening on lots of sites, really annoyingly, where you land on the site and instantly it's 10% off when you sign up, but you might already be signed up, or it's 10% off for a first-time customer, but you're not a first-time customer, so it just annoys and gets you in the way. What are the issues you see with poorly executed campaigns, and what are smarter ways to use this type of measure? Because a 10% off, there's nothing wrong with it if it's used intelligently. So yeah, what doesn't work and what does work?
I totally agree. Nothing wrong with 10% off if it's used correct. Yes. What I see, the logic, the logic mistake is that most bounce happens in the first 5 seconds. So let's trigger a discount pop-up in the 5th second. This is a wrong logic, because bounce is a lack of engagement, and hesitation is engaged session. Yes, engaged intent without progress. So I advise to switch focus in this understanding. You can trigger 10% off discount when it help. It is not help to visitors that just visited and somehow realized that they're doing something wrong. They're not going to shopping maybe today at all. Or shopping, they're going to shop in a different category. I don't know what the reason, but 5 seconds is the short term. It is not about engagement. So the thing is to define engaged session, to see that, okay, you see the normal behavior that the person discovers product, maybe comparing our products, different products, comparing price, adding something to wish list, and then suddenly this process stopped. Yes, and you see that, and this is the perfect moment for triggering offer. Offer might help to move it further. Probably there is a different problem. This is only one of various that marketers should test in this moment. I mean, 10% off. This is one of the offers or approaches. How can you fix this leak in funnel? So yes, the core thing to keep in mind, then you should looking for a hesitation moment and triggering hesitation moment. And I will tell you that it is the hesitation moment in 91% will not occur until 5th second. It is too early to hesitate. There are no engagement yet.
Yeah, I personally really don't like and have not seen evidence that homepage based campaigns work, because you're right, a lot of people come to a homepage with no specific outcome in mind. Some people might have clicked on an ad and actually gone, oh no, I don't want that. Or they're disrupted, interrupted, and are leaving. And trying to block that journey, it makes no sense. And you're right. I think that's a really good way of framing it, actually, is each site will have a different definition of what engagement means. If you're a brand-led site with lots of like rich content and there's a lot of storytelling around product selling, versus you're a pure massive multi-brand catalog retailer where it's all about getting people to products, your definition of engagement will change, and you might have multiple definitions. And then depending on which engagement it is, the content and the promotion should be different. Sometimes it could be commerce based. Other times it could be about making people aware of events or free content or whatever it might be.
Yes.
And you talked about gamification a few times. So I'm interested. So I'll do the devil's advocate. So Paul, my co-host who couldn't make today's episode, we personally can't stand spin to wins. It's just a personal thing. I'm not talking about this from a data-driven analysis. I know some brands that have got really good results out of spin to wins. I don't know what it is. When I see them, they just annoy me, but they can work. So that's one example of gamification. Can you talk us through that and other examples of gamification, what it means, and examples of how to use that effectively?
Yes, regarding the gamification, the thing is the correct strategy, right? Gamification helps to increase the level of excitement on every phase of buyer's journey. And the problem that I observe is that some marketers, some merchants avoid gamification because, as they said in their own words, because it's cheap tactic. And I understand this point. I understand this position, probably because I saw this realization in AliExpress or Temu. I understand why some people say that I don't want to have it on my site. It will decrease, or it will have a bad impact on my brand perception. It's understandable, So there are rules that help to increase, to triple even your conversion, increase revenue, and still keeping gamification brand savvy. So the first point is you should keep it on brand. So either if you run a spinner wheel or you run a gift box, mystery gift, you should tweak it to your brand. The problem is that people are usually running these pop-ups just as is in Clavio's template library or other pop-up standalone pop-up builder template library without any adaptation, customization to website's brand. This is the first point. Another one is the fair or unfair game. If you will do this game like on Temu, yes, where you offer big prizes and you require some action and users do this action and still have no chance to reveal this prize. This is not fair. If you type with a small font some additional conditions, it will save you probably from legal perspective. But of course, it is not trust-adding practice. So the game should be fair. And yes, I think that if you build the gamified flow from welcome to hesitation moment, to exit intent, to post-checkout, so on every phase, your game is like on brand, it is interesting, it is easy to play or not to play. Yes, so you're not pushy. This will change performance metrics exactly.
There's a really interesting psychology around it, because if you interject gamification at the point when somebody's trying to make a decision and they're not in that mindset where actually this could be enjoyable, fun, then you can actually annoy them and put them off. And also there are times, I think where I've seen it poorly used is where some of the offers on it, whether that's a free gift or a discount off order, are limited to new customers only. I had one the other day of a pet care brand that I shop with, and it was spin the wheel. You get 15% off your first order, but I've been ordering with you for 3 years, so I couldn't use that discount code. So the tactic isn't necessarily wrong, but the execution just seems really poorly thought out a lot of the time. So,
yeah,
I got a question for you on how this works in practice, because say, for example, I'm an e-com brand listener, and I want to use a wheel more intelligently, and I want to be able to do things that are not unique to specific customers. How does it work functionally to tie in with existing promotions so that you don't have limitations where customer A can't use it because they're blocked to it?
I see. So do you mean the how to protect mechanic from fraudulent actions? Yes.
No. So how do you ensure that when the wheel spins and there's a discount code there, that it's not being offered to somebody who can't then redeem it? Because I've seen this before where you spin and get a 10% discount code, but you can't use it because it's only for first-time new customers, but you're not a new customer.
Oh, yes. This is the matter of targeting. So the quick answer is not to offer the game for customers that already that are not in the segment that you want to show. So that's simply and also if you're giving a price discount or free shipping or something like that, and you want to limit it in time, so you can communicate that this is a limited time offer and you can't use it in a year. You have like 7 days or other time frame to use it. So yeah, if I got your question right, tell me please.
Yeah, and are you seeing, what other techniques are you seeing for gamification? Because one of the problems is, again, if I'm putting my head of e-commerce hat on, if everyone's using spinning wheels, it loses its impact, and people want to find unique, different ways to engage people that isn't being done on every single e-commerce site out there. What other gamification tactics does ClassPost support, and what have you seen e-com sites use well?
Mm-hmm. So yes, the basic tactic is welcome offer. Yes, it can be like welcome gamified offer, and you can split it also with or without email capture. So you can let people play and win a prize and use it immediately without capturing email, without the email gate. This is also an art, because if you see that the session is engaging, and you have also you see that the cart is full, and you want to increase the average order value. So no need to play this, email per discount game. You can use gamification to increase average order value. So just
what do you mean by gamification, though? Because you talked about spinning wheel. That's one thing, but what other techniques are there?
a scratch card, gift boxes, memory cards, different games, and for agencies we offer, for example, we offer our component SDK, so agencies can build their new games. So we offer some 8 games, and agencies can build new games different that no one using in the market.
So the memory box, I'm intrigued, but I've not heard of that before. How does that work?
Oh, it's like you're opening slots, and your task is to remember what is covered under cards. That's a mechanic memory card.
Right.
You have to remember, for example, you have to collect 3 gems, and you uncover cards, and you have to remember where were 3 gems.
I can see how this could be quite interesting for brands who want to bring in, I guess, brand icons into that game where you have to hunt for things that are relevant to the brand, and find, like, if you have particular, I'd say, for example, you've got Paul Smith, and Paul Smith's loyalty program is built around stamps, because the founder is a big stamp collector, and there's an important part of the overall brand storytelling. I can see how that could be fun, where you could then turn that into find the stamps, and therefore you could make that on brand rather than just generic.
Interesting.
So the SDK enables, so as a developer, I can use your SDK to take that game concept and then just change the creative elements within it myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
You shouldn't be even a developer. You can be a marketer without any technical knowledge. You're just chatting with our AI agent, and AI agent using component SDK builds for you your game flow. So you can, if you know that your audience would love to play Mario or Tetris, you can build it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. And how much adoption are you starting to see of the AI capability where people are doing that themselves within the tool rather than working the developers or coming to you for advice?
The first thing is that I would like to notify that what is not AI pop-ups, because there are many now tools that are saying we are offering an AI pop-ups, and these tools are helping to build a design itself from chat with AI. This not it is not something that I believe would work, because it's not a problem of pop-up to build it. The pop-up itself is pretty simple and easy thing, yes, to build. The more valuable contribution of AI technology, it can be improvement of conversion by targeting and personalization. So AI can identify your business category quickly and suggest segments, let's say, for buyer's journey, and suggest hypotheses and messages to test. That's what AI can do for you. And also AI agent can run and manage A/B test series. So it will create variants. It will pick a better variant, yes, and create another one, and always improve your conversion. So, of course, there will be like a extreme point, yes, but it is much more effective, as I see on our tests. We are testing it, and I see that it is much more. You can in 3 weeks or like this, you can improve to maximize your conversion. I couldn't do that by doing it manually. So
No, I think this for me is the interesting bit where modern tech is turning like marketing capability that previously was harder to scale into something that's manageable. Because I remember doing this where if we wanted to roll out lots of different campaigns, especially when we had different international storefronts and we'd had it in different languages with different creative, actually we had to do each thing 3 times, briefs, they had to be coded, tested, versus the ability to dynamically say, right, I want to run a series of campaigns, I want to test different versions of copy. The power of being able to execute that yourself is found at the speed to market is just so much better.
Yes, and you know, there are many peculiarities, like as I observed with one brand, a men's underwear brand, and just for example, in adding to what we discussed previously, the best offer that worked for them was the 50, not 15, but 50% off, but only for one pants. And they just knew that the average order value is usually bigger. People are buying not one, not two even. They buy more. So the economic of this welcome discount is very different. It is not 10% off, but actually, if we will take average, it is like 10% off. So they did it this way, and it works for them. And they then gamified this welcome discount with spin the wheel, increase the conversion on the top of funnel. And after 1 month, they saw a 10% increase in revenue, email attributed revenue, I mean. So yes, that's very different, and AI can help to quickly to find out this perfect offer for different segments.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I think these tools start to add a lot of value. Is the targeting's critical, but you need human thinking behind it to inform how things should be targeted and when. But the AI is able to execute at a scale that humans can't. And it's even, the fact that you can do targeted suppression with your AI tool to block customers who look like the intent of purchase is so high that giving them an offer or instituting is not actually valuable. So that's really useful. But thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to come on and have a chat. For anybody who's interested in looking at ClassPay further, there is information on our website. Go and have a look and see just what it can do.
Yeah. You can find us on web, classipay.io, or in Shopify App Store, on WordPress plugin category. Also, just type ClassPay and welcome. And if you are open to run a pilot campaign, you want to test some interesting ideas, feel free to DM me on LinkedIn, and I'm open and interested in discovering something new. So welcome.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Nice to chat to you, Taras. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're listening to the Inside Commerce podcast hosted by experienced consultants James Gerd and Paul Rogers. Inside Commerce is your fast track to digital knowledge, featuring interviews with leading e-commerce retailers, industry thought leaders, and the C-suite of key tech companies to explore the latest in digital strategy, customer experience, and tech. Discover what the latest trends really mean and get practical advice based on experience to help fine-tune your e-com strategy and tech stack. Follow us on LinkedIn and reach out to James or Paul if you'd like to discuss an e-commerce project. We hope you enjoy the latest episode.